graduates and guests, welcome to the University of Washington's 145th commencement ceremony, honoring the graduating class of 2020. Now entering our candidates for the various doctoral and professional degrees. Carrying the gonfalons for the graduate school are Tim Brown and Dancel Senatiempo. Tim is receiving a Doctor of Philosophy in Philosophy. Dancel is receiving a Doctor of Philosophy in French Studies. Carrying the gonfalon for the School of Pharmacy is Marissa Robin Craig. Marissa is receiving a Doctor of Pharmacy degree. Carrying the gonfalon for the School of Dentistry is Tiffany Doe. Tiffany is graduating today with a Doctor of Dental Surgery.
It was the only place he thought he could ask questions that he wanted to ask about what exists and how we make sense of it. He says he chose the University of Washington because of the adventurous folks in the philosophy department. I took a few philosophy classes and they were so amazing to kind of talk through what's out there and what's going on. We also hearing from Dancel, and he's from Lake Stevens, so he is homegrown from right here in the backyard of the University of Washington. He's getting his master's degree. Instead, he's continued and completed a PhD in French studies, focused on fashion and gender sexuality. So a lot of interesting folks moving through here today.
And when you think of the University of Washington, Aaron, you know, of course you have engineering and you have the nursing school, which really comes to light because when you think of all the doctors and the nurses and all the care providers that have graduated from the University of Washington, many of those folks are on the front lines of fighting this horrible virus, this COVID-19 virus. And I'm just so proud of them, and I'm sure so many Huskies are proud of them as well.
Yeah, for sure. And they announced Marissa Craig, and she's from here too in the backyard of Redmond. She's a Doctor of Pharmacy. So when you talk about being in the medical field, the University of Washington is producing so much content and information, especially during this time of the coronavirus and COVID-19 kind of taking over our whole world and making it different for graduations like this to be online.
Candidates for the various master's degrees are now entering. Carrying the gonfalon for the graduate school are Brian J. Evans and Tasha Lynn. Brian is receiving a Master of Fine Arts in Dance. Tasha is receiving a Master of Science in Information Management.
Well, Brian Evans is from Gaylord, Minnesota, and he said the dance MFA program was exactly what he was looking for, the program that supported mid-career artists transformation to the professor. And that's one of the reasons he came here and why he picked the UW to go to school.
And Tasha Lynn, she's the graduate master's degree in information management, and she was born and raised in Toronto, Canada. She wanted to pursue a master's in information management to learn how technology can create unintended consequences. So she chose this school because of those reasons and knew that the University of Washington would be a good fit for her. She's able to take courses in many other schools, including sociology, urban planning, and law.
And how about Zola Valashia from Seattle, Washington? She says, quote, I was born and raised in Johannesburg, South Africa. I wanted to align my intellectual curiosity with passion. UW offered an LLM that could bring me together with my passion for development and empowers me with professional skills and inspires me to do better.
And we're taking a look at those columns right there, as we mentioned earlier in the Purple Carpet Show that we had leading up to this. Gard, you made kind of a comment about those columns and how we were running through, and how the university president, Matthew Lyle Spencer, banned kissing on campus.
Back in 1929.
Yeah, because we're seeing couples spooning and kind of congregating together and hanging out. So he decided to ban that. That's an interesting time back then, and not so much flying now. But yes, these students have first come in through these columns when they came in as freshmen. They heard from Vice Provost and Dean Taylor there, who talked to them when they first came in. We heard some of that earlier today. And those columns mean so much to the graduation and the heritage of this rich university who carries such a spirit through this. We're going to continue, of course, to hear more about what's going on with this virtual graduation and some of the leaders that are going through the Gonfaloniers today.
Yeah, and how about Lila Fallhaber from Seattle, Washington, College of Arts and Sciences. She is a neuroscience major. She says, quote, I grew up in Vietnam, but went to high school in a small Washington town
Carrying the
called Blaine.
gonfalon for the School of Law is Zoa Valashia. Zola is receiving a Master of Laws in Sustainable International Development.
All right, and like we said, she was born in South Africa, and she wanted to align her intellectual curiosity with passion. So UW offered that for her, and the LLM, the Sustainable International Development Program, she was passionate about it, and she wanted to empower herself and others with the professional skills and what UW had to offer to become a better speaker, a better leader, a better person.
Taylor Victoria Halverson, College of Arts and Sciences. She says, though I am originally from West Seattle, I spent most of my formative pre-college years in Oak Harbor up on Whidbey Island. I feel very much like UW picked me. Once I stepped foot on campus for the first time, I couldn't imagine myself anywhere else. And Taylor, I think a lot of people feel that way.
And we want to remind you that this is the 145th annual commencement ceremony at the University of Washington. It's a little different this year if you're just tuning in. Welcome in from wherever you are, whether it's South Africa, Australia, around the world. We are seeing folks join in online from all over, and it's been a very unique experience, Gard. We've talked to so many people in this world today. It's just such a different time, and at one time we thought maybe we weren't going to have this ceremony happen, but we are.
Oh, yeah, and I think we even heard the president of the university, President Kause, say, when you asked her, hey, did you ever think that this may not happen, this commencement? And she said, yes, absolutely. And then she looks at all the professionals from UW Television and the production staff here. I mean, I counted 10 tents when we did our show before the procession. But it is just incredible how many people just pick up the ball and start to run with it at the University of Washington, especially with all the departments. When you think of all the different kinds of graduations and the curriculum here, it's so diverse. It really is a special place to go to school.
Well, it's just so unique, and folks all around the country talk about the University of Washington, just not only for how cool it is, right? Purple and gold, from the athletics programs to the science programs to the medical program in the field, and what they're doing today with this pandemic and what's going on with the coronavirus around the world and COVID-19. A lot of organizations, a lot of health industry professionals leaning towards the University of Washington to really look into what these scientists here are looking at. They're manipulating numbers, trying to see where everything fits, checking the curves, trying to keep us safe in a time of
Carrying
social
the gonfalon for the Evans
where we are
School of
graduating
Public Policy
virtually.
and Governments is Jenny Keiko Six. Jenny is receiving a Master of Public Administration.
Well, Gard, you know, she's from Chicago, and she chose Evans School to study public finance and policy administration, which is cool. She had the opportunity to work with some amazing colleagues through her curriculum advocacy team, which is cool. Evan's People of Color, that's called EPOC. She's a student ambassador, and her teaching aspires a lot of people out there. And she's with the City of Seattle's Department of Finance and Administrative Services. This is such a special ceremony, Guard. You know, graduating virtually is so much different. Everyone's used to packing into Husky Stadium, and now we're making it happen this way. And I think almost selfishly, some parents are happy about this because they get to see their kids if they're, you know, out of South Africa or a different country.
Right. No, it is super special, but there is something, and I don't mean to be negative on this, but there is something special about walking into the stadium, because 40 to 50,000 people will show up, friends and family members and the graduates, thousands of them just filling the football field, and it really is something special. But this one, as you mentioned, Aaron, this one is also super special because I think in 50 years from now, people are going to go, oh, I remember that. Boy, they did a great job with that procession virtually.
Yeah, they did.
Ladies and gentlemen, candidates for bachelor's degrees in the College of Arts and Sciences, including Bachelor of Arts, Bachelor of Science, Bachelor of Design, Bachelor of Fine Arts, and Bachelor of Music, are now entering. Carrying the first of 6 gonfalons for the College of Arts and Sciences is Lila Fallhaber, who is receiving a Bachelor of Science in Neuroscience.
Well, Lila grew up in Vietnam, but she went to a high school in a small western Washington town up north, right near the Canadian border, called Blaine. She chose UW because it was offered the growth and opportunities that she wanted coming out of a small town, and she found her passion in neuroscience and educational outreach.
She's on the annual Dean's Lift, Grade Matters Journals, the Dream Project. She is a very, how should I say this, a woman who knows exactly what she wants to do, and it shows because she is doing a lot.
Well, yeah, she's a whole health student health navigator, super involved in not only her academics, but being connected to these students.
And totally motivated too. I mean, I'm looking at what she has accomplished here at the UW, and it's a myriad of things. So, Lila, you're doing a terrific job, and congratulations for today.
Yeah, and we do want to mention that, you know, there are so many graduates, and right now we have, I think, over 6,700 participating virtually every year. So many, approximately 40% of all bachelor's degrees, 64% are all master's degree. We continue to see these numbers among Washington College public institutions that represent. So there is so much to think about. And as you mentioned earlier, Guard, there are 75% of UW graduates remain in the state after graduation. I know that I had a couple Husky soccer players with me that were out of California, and they took jobs here and they stayed here. Maybe their parents weren't so excited that they didn't come back home to the Bay Area or Southern California, but it's a great place to live and grow up and have a family and really stay connected to your roots of purple and gold.
And when you look at all the undergrads and the upper grads, they are 70% are from the state right here in Washington. So all of them wanted to stay home.
Carrying the second gonfalon for the College of Arts and Sciences is Taylor Halverson, who is receiving a Bachelor of Arts in Scandinavian Area Studies and Communication.
Yeah, Aaron, this is, I read her little bio and what she said, and I loved it at the end when she says, once I stepped foot on campus for the first time, I could not imagine myself anywhere else. And I think a lot of people feel that way. The second you're on campus, you don't need to be recruited.
No.
If you can get in, it's a little bit difficult to get in, but if you have the grades to get in, they don't even have to sell you on the campus because it's absolutely stunning here.
Oh, Taylor says she's done so many things, but she's had the opportunity to do many things during her time at UW, but she's most proud of her work as a programming intern with the ASUW Queer Student Commission, a performer in the 2018 playwright for Check This Shh Out. I'm sure her family is very proud of her today, along with so many other family members and friends. And one thing I think that happens across probably the nation, the world, is people really connect through these graduations and brings you back to times where we may have graduated quite a bit ago, but just hearing some of these students and athletes and the president and deans and chancellors talking about what it means and how influential these kids are to the future of what we have here in America, in the world, and where they're going to go become scientists, doctors, technicians, programmers.
And I think sometimes when you graduate, at least for me, I've thought, well, when is this UW or when is this San Diego State thing going to really have an impact on me? Because sometimes you don't think it does until you get a little bit older down the line and you think, oh my gosh, I learned so much at the UW. Now it's all starting to make sense. So sometimes for a lot of students and graduates, it takes a little bit of time. But man, the UW sets you up for life.
And you don't realize the tools until you're out for a while that you've received.
Candidates from the College of Arts and Sciences continue to enter, led by Gonfalonier Catalina Rose Hoffman, who's receiving a Bachelor of Arts in American Indian Studies.
Well, that's pretty cool. She grew up in Olympia, Washington, and she picked UW because it always had been her dream school. Like a lot of people, her dad went there before her, and she grew up going to all the football games. Boy, isn't that something?
That was kind of like you too, wasn't it?
Oh, for sure. My dad had season tickets for almost 41 years, and he would go with his grandfather. It was a traditional day where they dropped me up off of 25th, right up the road from U Village. And I would stay with my grandmother while my dad and my grandfather went to the games. And I just thought if I could get to one of those games with him when I get old enough, it would be the coolest thing that I've ever seen. And when I finally did go, and the noise that came out of that stadium, it was immeasurable.
Yeah.
It was so loud.
It's like one of the loudest stadiums in the country. Yeah, back in 1992, 130 decibels against Nebraska. Actually, Aaron, this is how old I am. I was at that game.
I was at that game too.
And I remember how loud that was.
When I should actually say I covered that game as a waitress at a bar on the University Avenue. And I remember all the Nebraska fans came up because we set up a buffet. Not one Husky fan came in. And those Nebraska fans were actually great. And they surely gave super tips.
Well, that's good.
I think I was there for 15 hours serving those guys, and it was a fun thing. So
and you're thinking, when's Nebraska coming back to play again?
Yeah, for sure. They did put some money in my pocket. And I did want to mention that back in 1981, did you know the wave was invented and conceived at the University of Washington?
I did not know that.
That's a cool thing throughout the stadium, and everybody uses it around the country, around the world.
The UW is so diverse, right?
For sure. They're on the world spectrum. All right, well, we want to thank everyone for joining us today. We know some of you are just tuning in, while others have been with us for a while. We had a purple carpet show before this, kind of the red carpet leading up to the graduation. And we've just really enjoyed speaking with everyone today and really connecting with a lot of people. Wish we had time to kind of pot in more interviews and audio from other people, but we're going to continue to listen here as everyone gets announced and hear the gonfalons of their programs and degrees.
Carrying the fourth gonfalon for the College of Arts and Sciences is Fee-Young Liu, who is graduating with a Bachelor of Science in Applied and Computational Mathematics Science, Data Science and Statistics, and a Bachelor of Arts in Latin.
Here is what Lou said. He says, quote, I am from China. I decided to study at UW primarily because of my great impression of Chief Seattle speech that I learned in primary school. I majored in ACMS and Latin, which both reflect my interest in mathematics and antique matters. I can already tell that Lou is a lot smarter than I am. But you know, as we look at all these names and where they're from, of course, a lot from Washington, as we mentioned, about 70%. But as we saw earlier in the show about an hour ago on where all these students come from, we just heard from China, from Lou, you know, from Puerto Rico,
South Africa,
Australia,
Kuala
Western
Lumpur.
Europe, Russia, just everywhere, Japan, everywhere. I mean, the UW is connected globally. You could throw a dart at a globe. If it hit it, you could know there was a UW graduate there.
Yeah, and one thing I really enjoy about the UW, thinking back to my time, I had some really interesting classes, class sizes that could be anywhere from 500 to 600, and some could be 20 to 30.
Right.
And the classes that were 500 to 600, you think, how am I going to get recognized? How am I going to get one-on-one contact with the teachers? But somehow you find a way. We did it. And some of those professors and teachers, I still remember to this day. I've seen them in grocery stores and said, hey, Stan Chernikoff, Geology 101, do you remember me? Aaron, hey, how's it going? You see them in the grocery store, and that's the kind of thing that I like. And I know that happens a lot at different universities. You make these connections, but it is really something that you don't think about while you're in that time of your college degree. You know, you think, I'm just here, I gotta get through this. I got to get to bed, I got to study in the morning, and I have a huge test, and then you get through that day, and it's a new day, and you come back, and you're either fired up or you're a little bit down because you're not sure how you did on the test. But one thing to know is that you get through it, you graduate, and in the end, it's not going to matter if you got 2 wrong on that test or 4 wrong. You got your degree, right? And you've been educated, and you've learned from what you've not known.
Carrying the 5th gonfalon for the College of Arts and Sciences is Deshaun Newell, who is graduating with a Bachelor of Science in Neuroscience.
So here's what Deshaun says, quote, I chose UW for its prestigious academic standing within the research and medical community. UW has also offered me the opportunity to gain a holistic education focusing on the brain. I learned of human biology through neuroscience and consequent behavior through psychology.
Well, Deshaun is also a member of Pi Beta Phi Sigma fraternity, member of the Student Veteran Life, also the National Panhellenic Council. He's a Husky Rugby Club player, number 14 on the wing, and Project Rise research is what he's involved in, along with the Husky Bowling League.
Wow.
That's pretty cool.
So he's a bowler and a brawler with rugby.
For
He
sure.
does both.
He must be pretty strong, though. Those rugby players have to have
big
some
and strong.
strength. He must analyze a lot of folks in the rugby and bowling industry with his psychology behavior, you know, thinking of what he has learned and looking at different folks and kind of analyzing them and seeing how their mechanics work and what goes through the process there of their heads and their minds.
Mm-hmm.
We want to remind people, too, that we've seen a lot on social media, the UW Grad 20 hashtag on Instagram. People are voting for the best cap decorations and so forth through this. So don't forget, if you haven't voted, to get online and vote for that at the UW Daily. There's so many great ones to look for. I don't know how they could just pick one, but I guess by voting that will help and tally up the numbers to get through. And as we talked about before, I love the fact that those cap and gowns are made out of recycled water bottles.
Yeah, they just take them, you toss them in a garbage can, they get picked up, they get shredded, and somebody else is wearing them the next year.
Carrying the final gonfalon for the College of Arts and Sciences is Calvin Paulson, who is graduating with a Bachelor of Arts in History, Empire and Colonialism.
Well, Calvin is from Bonnie Lake, so right here in Western Washington, and quote, I chose history as my field of studies because this field is uniquely positioned to empower marginalized people and heal the wounds caused by past violence. He's on the Dean's List each quarter he's attended. He is a Mary Gates Scholar for 2018.
You know, when you look at these students who are graduating and you look at everything they have done, all of them are so diverse. I mean, going back just a couple of minutes, one guy's a rugby player.
I know.
Right? It's just incredible.
That's what makes up a community like this across the nation, the world. It brings everyone together, and when you really dive into the purple and gold of these people, you find out so many things that are so interesting and intricate and how they got here. You know, a scholarship, non-scholarship, working all the way through high school to pay for their college, to get them a leg up. And that's what I think the University of Washington folks have learned. Once they graduate through and either walk or virtually walk and hear their name called, they have so much going for them already, and they don't even know it. That's one thing that I think I wish maybe I could go back. I had some great times, some fun, I studied, I got decent grades, but I'd love to go back on campus again and be a student.
You would?
I would.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome bachelor's candidates from the College of Education, led by Gonfalonier Dalia Perez. Dalia is receiving a Doctor of Philosophy in Education Leadership and Policy Studies.
And she says, quote, "Seattle is my hometown. As a longtime educator, I know that institutions of education have the power to transform people's lives and communities. UW's College of Education helped me launch into a meaningful doctoral journey of equitable leadership, research, and action."
Entering now are the bachelor's candidates from the College of Engineering, led by Gonfaloniers Tushar Khurana and Kimberly Ruth. Tushar is receiving a Bachelor of Science in Engineering. Kimberly is graduating with a Bachelor of Science in Computer Engineering and a Bachelor of Arts in Mathematics.
Tushara says, quote, "Growing up, my family moved back and forth between different cities in India and the United States. I wanted to study at a public university in a large city. The UW had a good financial aid and scholarships package, plus Seattle had just passed the $15 minimum wage."
Wow. He's also published she's also published a scientific paper with the Geophysical Institute in Fairbanks, Alaska, developed machinery learning hydrology forecasting with a startup and research water policy with King County, volunteered at Beacon Food Forest, the University District Food Bank. A lot going on. And Kimberly,
she says, "My hometown is Bellevue. I love the field of computing since I enjoy using logical structures to build technologies that help people. I chose to attend UW due to its abundant opportunities for growth and world-class academic strength, especially in my field."
Undergraduate research has been a major endeavor of hers. She says, "I've been involved in work that's led to 4 academic publications."
Wow.
That's exciting, including one project I ran as the lead author. I've also engaged in mentorship, teaching, and outreach activities both inside and outside of the Allen School.
Yeah, when you listen to Kimberly Ruth and everything she's done, it kind of makes me feel better because I'm a lot older, but at least for our children, the future seems a little bit brighter than it does today. But man, it is so nice to see these smart kids, these smart graduates, knowing that they're going to pretty much pick up the ball and run with it forever. And I appreciate that about them.
Yeah, for sure. Well, I'm just glad the weather held out a little bit, Guard. It could have been a bit stormier. Some folks are outside where they're doing part of the ceremony and announcing it, while others are just virtually on your computers watching from everywhere. So welcome in from all over the country, all over the world, wherever you are. Thanks for joining us and being purple and gold today and celebrating your graduates and checking out some of the others who are walking through this kind of virtual ceremony for the first time ever here on the University of Washington campus. You're watching the 145th Annual Commencement.
Please welcome the candidates from the College of the Environment. Carrying the gonfalon is Andrew Thomas Chin, who is receiving a Bachelor of Science in Aquatic and Fishery Sciences and Marine Biology.
Andrew says, my pursuit of fishery science is everything that a 5-year-old in me would have dreamed of. I initially attended school out of state, but the research and teaching community at the School of Aquatic and Fishery Sciences made a transfer back home to Seattle a very easy decision.
Well, he was Science Communication Fellow at Washington C. Grant and Editor-in-Chief of the Undergraduate Environmental Research Journal Field Notes. I don't remember having all these credentials while I was going through, although I did. I worked for the Daily and the newspaper and things like that.
Bachelor candidates from the Information School are now entering. The Information School gonfalon is carried by gonfaloniers Autumn Durr and Haley Younghusband. Autumn is receiving a Bachelor of Science in Informatics, Data Science, and Human-Computer Interaction. Haley is receiving a Bachelor of Science in Informatics.
Autumn says, I chose UW for its mix of academic rigor and rich college experience, from my life to the science and the scenic Pacific Northwest.
Bachelor candidates from the Michael G. Foster School of Business are now entering, led by gonfalonier Danny P. Bowie. Danny is receiving a Bachelor of Arts in Business Administration, Marketing.
Well, Danny was born and raised in San Jose, California, just down the I-5 corridor to the south, and he says the idea of comfort attending college in my home state was dull, so he wanted to explore the outdoors of the Pacific Northwest, not too far away, a short plane ride, while pursuing his passion for business and technology.
Yeah, he's also the president of Husky Veterans and the secretary for Vietnamese Student Association.
He also is part of Alpha Kappa Psi fraternity, and he definitely mentors people all around. Just to let you know today, this is also a unique experience, not only because it's virtually online with this commencement guard, but they're celebrating, and we're virtually walking students from UW Tacoma and UW Bothell. We're all here today, and that's the first time ever as well, along with being online.
Yeah, first time ever, and it's really nice because everybody feels so included. And it's when you have Bothell, which is an incredible campus, and then way south of Bothell, you're down in Tacoma, another incredible campus. Now, if I lived down in Tacoma, with all the traffic that we've had, not in the last couple of months, but I would probably pick Tacoma, or if I was close to Bothell, I'd probably pick close to Bothell so I wouldn't have to fight traffic. But even fighting traffic to get here and look at these beautiful scenes we have here of the columns and the beautiful set that was erected for the gonfaloniers and the rest of the gang here at the UW, it's just been incredible.
It has, and you know, you want to mention that some of the points and recognition to UW, you know, the UW Nursing School is ranked #1 among schools offering a Doctor of Nursing practice. That was just 2 months ago.
Wow, incredible. This gets better and better here at the University of Washington.
Yeah, UW's Foster School ranked #1 in the U.S. for MBA jobs, and that was 4 months ago. So they've been ranked for many careers and
Bachelor candidates from the School of Nursing and the
majors.
School of Medicine are now entering. The School of Nursing is led by gonfalonier Kristen Trevelli, who is receiving a Doctor of Nursing practice.
Well, there you
Carrying
go.
the gonfalon for the School of Medicine, Farida Abdullah, who is receiving a Master of Occupational Therapy. Welcome now the Bachelor candidates from the College of Built Environments. They are led by gonfalonier Andres Flores, who is receiving a Master of Architecture.
Boy, it could be the School of Medicine, it could be architecture, it could be arts and sciences, it could be music. They have it all here at the UW.
Dentistry, oceanography, just a huge program with so much to offer, not only for their medical profession, what they're doing now, obviously with these tough times in the pandemic and COVID-19, but they've really made strides across the board in all degrees.
The final groups of Bachelor candidates entering are from the School of Public Health and the School of Social Work. Carrying the gonfalon for the School of Public Health is Esther Mywin, who is receiving a Bachelor of Arts in Food Systems, Nutrition, and Health. The School of Social Work candidates are led by gonfalonier Amber Barcel, who is receiving a Master of Social Work.
Well,
Esther,
yeah, she's from Forks, and
she feels right at home right now.
She does, because I was going to say this rain is starting to come down. Luckily, it's a virtual ceremony, but yeah, she just wanted to get out and get new opportunities, push herself academically, and to find all of her passions. And she's happy to say that she fell in love with the field of nutritional sciences and cannot wait to continue down this road and this path.
Yeah, she says she lived in India for a while, interning in a nutrition and lactation program for a nonprofit, and also volunteered in the Dominican Republic for the past 3 years. So this young lady has been all over the world helping people and educating people, just like she got educated here at the UW, and she's just spreading the love now.
And well, Amber, talking about all over the world, born in South Korea and raised in rural Nebraska, that's quite the change. She chose to study social work at the UW because of its policy concentration and lenses there.
Yeah. Just an incredible scene here at the University of Washington, a virtual graduation for over 6,700 students. And it has just been a terrific day that started hours ago, and every single one of these young ladies, these young men, these people who have graduated here at the UW, it really is incredible to see all the backgrounds, all the diversity, and everything they have done to get themselves a diploma as they move forward into the future and of their life.
Yeah, one of the times that's just very unique, but I think that everybody's come together, as President Anna-Marie Kause has said, that they were not sure. She just was not sure if this was going to happen due to COVID-19. And I think many people across the globe thought this isn't going to happen. And it did. Everything just systematically shut down. But we've managed to get back up and try to find a new life in the world of technology and information science, and UW is a major player in what is going on in the world pandemic-wise.
Yeah, and even to put on a virtual event like this is not an easy task. I've been involved in a lot of television in my life, and the crew that we have here, and I was told that it was up to 100 people over the last 30 days to get this thing going and get it off the ground. And not only do we social distance, you and I don't because we're married, but all the guests we've had have been at least 6 feet apart. Everybody here wears masks. There's 10 to 12 tents that are set up. Inside the tents, there are plastic shields between each cubicle where people are working on computers, people are working on editors. It's just been an incredible scene to see how many professionals here at the UW can adapt to such a horrific thing that we're in the middle of this coronavirus, this COVID-19. But it just is a true example of what happens here at the University of Washington and how people have to adapt because, one, you don't have a choice. You can stick your tail between your legs and just forget about this and go into hibernation, but the UW is front and center in fighting this behind the scenes and in front of the scenes.
Yeah, they've always been a leader in the university eyes of several universities, major universities, hundreds of universities, thousands of universities across the world and the country, and they continue to do it. And during times like these, not only the University of Washington, but other programs and other organizations around our area, Seattle U, places like that, they've all come together and developed new forms of a way of life and to invent and deal with technology and what they can have moving forward. I know we talked about earlier what the University of Washington invented, bubble gum, recycling, things like that, vinyl, the wave.
That just shows how diverse it is. So many things have come out of here, so many incredible businesses.
The procession of the graduates has now concluded.
Have come out of the University of Washington and continues. And I think with this pandemic that's happening, I think it's going to push us to greater limits.
Now entering Sylvan Grove are the members of the President's Party, led by University Marshall Associate Professor Joseph Janes of the Information School.
We'd like to begin this ceremony by acknowledging the land on which the university rests, the land of the Coast Salish peoples, which touches the shared waters of all tribes and bands within the Suquamish, Tulalip, and Muckleshoot nations. Today, we celebrate together. The commencement exercises of the University of Washington will be opened with the presentation of the colors by the Navy ROTC Color Guard and the singing of the Star-Spangled Banner by a choir composed of students from the School of Music. Please rise.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets' red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free, and the home of the
Please be seated. And welcome to the 145th commencement exercises of the University of Washington. My name is Joseph Janes, and I'm an associate professor in the Information School. On ceremonial occasions such as this, however, I am honored to serve as the University Marshal and welcome you all officially to this ceremony. As you can see, We're here in a somewhat damp Sylvan Grove. Behind me are the 4 Ionic columns that form the grand entrance to the first Territorial University of Washington building, which was constructed on a rise in what is now downtown Seattle in 1861. These columns resonate with the dreams and visions of the people who raised them in a village of only 300 people over a century and a half ago. They symbolize the never-ending pursuit of knowledge, truth, and artistic expression, always enduring and always new. Our first graduates celebrated in front of these columns, and when the downtown building came down, only these cedar columns were saved. They were erected on what is now the quad, and there they played a prominent role in early graduations. Ceremonies were held here in the Sylvan Grove when the columns were moved to this location in 1921. But for nearly 100 years, no class has graduated in front of these original columns until today. This day, the class of 2020 makes history. All our graduating classes are unique, including this one in so many ways. We wanted this ceremony to be special for you, and that's why we chose this place. What happens here today will likely never be repeated. Today's ceremony is also historic for another reason. Graduates from across the United States and from 40 countries and 6 continents are tuning in to participate in today's ceremony. And we see you all. We see you in Brazil, in Mexico, in Panama, and Peru. We see you in Bangladesh, Cambodia, China, Hong Kong, in India, Japan, Korea, Malaysia, in Vietnam. We see you in Australia, in Guam, in New Zealand. We see you in Oman and South Africa and the United Arab Emirates. We see you in Belgium, Denmark, the Netherlands, the United Kingdom, and our neighbors in Canada. When these columns were salvaged, Professor of History and UW alumnus Edmund Meany and his colleague Herbert Condon gave them names: Loyalty, Industry, Faith, and Efficiency, L-I-F-E, life. So we celebrate life here today, the lives of our students, their journeys to us and with us, and now from us. We celebrate the lives and sacrifices and gifts of the families and friends who helped bring you to this time and place. And we celebrate the life of this great public university, in so many ways a beacon. Which is also appropriate, as our university's motto is Lux Sit, somewhat imperfect Latin for let there be light. For where there is life, there is light. And where there is life and light, there is hope. We send our graduates out with hope into a world that desperately needs it and desperately needs you. To all the graduates who are joining us from all 3 campuses and across the United States and around the world, it is my great pleasure to welcome all of you to Commencement 2020, celebrating worldwide. As you can see, today we are observing the physical distancing guidelines that have been put into place to combat COVID-19, and as a result, our stage party is limited. With us today is the leadership of the university, and I'd like to introduce them at this time. First, the chair of the university's Board of Regents, Mr. Joel Benalil. The president of the University of Washington, Professor Anna Marie Kause. University Provost, Mark A. Richards. The Chancellor of the University of Washington Bothell, Dr. Wolf Ye. And the Chancellor of the University of Washington Tacoma, Dr. Mark A. Pagano. We sincerely appreciate everyone's presence here today. Thank you. Be seated. Commencement is a memorable day not only for our graduates, but also for our faculty, who truly enjoy celebrating the accomplishments of their students. At Commencement, we traditionally highlight faculty who have been recognized for their outstanding teaching. Here to do that today is the person who works most closely with the deans and the faculty to shape our students' academic experience, our provost, Dr. Mark Richards.
Thank you, Dr. Janes. Each year, the university presents what are known as the Awards of Excellence to individuals whose mentorship and service have had a profound impact on the lives of students and the broader university community. I want to take a moment to honor several of those award winners now. This year, 5 faculty have received the Distinguished Teaching Award. They are Xiaosong Li, the Harry and Catherine Jane Boand Endowed Professor of Chemistry, Ali Rawani Rahbar, Associate Professor of Epidemiology, Karen D. Martin, Assistant Professor in Public Policy and Governance, Ian Schnee, Senior Lecturer in Philosophy, and Alyssa Taylor, Senior Lecturer in Bioengineering. The recipient of the Marcia L. Landau Distinguished Graduate Mentor Award is Manka Varghese, Professor of Education. Finally, 2 graduate students with teaching responsibilities have received the Excellence in Teaching Award for 2020. They are Charles C. Lanphier, Graduate Staff Assistant in Sociology, and Vern Harner, Doctoral Candidate in Social Welfare. These faculty inspire students to discover their passion for learning, create opportunities for them to make a real difference, and change the way the students see the world. I would like to take the opportunity to thank all of our faculty and teaching assistants for putting their students first in this unprecedented year. They swiftly adjusted the ways in which they teach to ensure that UW students and the graduates we are honoring today receive the best possible education. To the graduates, I would say you have learned from the best, and now I can't wait to see how you will change the world.
Since 1932, the university has presented medals to the graduating seniors with the most distinguished academic records at the university. On the Seattle campus, 1 medal is awarded to a student who has completed at least 3/4 of his or her degree requirements at the university, and 1 is awarded to a student who entered the university with at least 60 transfer credits from a Washington community college. Each year, a President's Medal is also awarded to an outstanding graduate at each of the Tacoma and Bothell campuses. To present the medals to this year's winners, please welcome the President of the University of Washington, Anamari Kause.
Thank you, Dr. Janes. I'm so happy to see all of you here today. I can see you on the monitors, and it's almost as if we were together again. We miss you. I'll have more to say later, but now I want to present our President's Medalists this year. They are truly remarkable. The recipient of President's Medals at the University of Washington are Fauma Keimana of Seattle, Washington, and Savannah Claire Cassis of Tacoma, Washington, who entered the UW from Tacoma Community College. Fauma, who was a member of this year's Husky 100, studied abroad in Samoa and focused their studies on the importance of inclusive families in the academic success and social support amongst students of color. Fauma is graduating summa cum laude with a Bachelor of Arts degree in sociology and in anthropology, medical anthropology, and global health. They plan to pursue a PhD in Indigenous Studies or a related field and become an academic researcher, investigating the relationship between language and community resilience in Seattle area amongst urban Native American communities. Savannah is graduating summa cum laude with a Bachelor of Arts degree in psychology. She's been working with the university's Cognition and Cortical Dynamics Laboratory as part of her honors research project. She also studies Japanese and will take a year off to teach English in Japan. She plans on entering the Asian and Comparative Law LLM program at the UW School of Law, and ultimately, she plans to work to facilitate cross-cultural interactions between the United States and Asia. The President's Medalist for the University of Washington, Tacoma, is Brooke Nicole Carlaw. During her time at UW Tacoma, Brooke worked at the Center for Applied Cognitive Research with Dr. Stephen Ross on researching eyewitness misidentification. Brooke is graduating summa cum laude with a Bachelor of Arts degree in psychology. She plans to continue her education in the fall at Colorado State University, where she will begin work on a PhD in cognitive psychology. This year's medalist for the University of Washington Bothell is Casey Cummins. Casey is graduating with a 3.96 GPA, faculty honors, and a Bachelor of Arts degree in Health Studies from the School of Nursing and Health Studies. During the academic year, Casey conducted research using a drug discovery technique that uses mathematical modeling to predict the biological activity or potency of new compounds. Casey plans to work as a nurse assistant for 2 years before continuing his education in medical school. Please join me in recognizing our extraordinary President's medalists. And I would also like to recognize those students who are graduating today with the university's highest baccalaureate honors, summa cum laude, magna cum laude, and cum laude. The names of the Seattle campus honorees are listed in the commencement program. Each year, the chancellors at our Bothell and Tacoma campuses recognize students who have demonstrated extraordinary achievement. The Chancellor's Medal recognizes individuals who have been a consistent source of inspiration for faculty and fellow students alike, and who have overcome significant obstacles in order to complete a degree. I would like to invite Chancellor Ye and Chancellor Pagano to present the Chancellor's medalists from their campuses.
Thank you, President Kelsey. I am proud to present 2 medals today. Our first medal goes to Yasmin Guzman. Yasmin is an undergraduate majoring in health studies. She has been a passion for supporting health and wellness of vulnerable individuals and families, propelling her to achieve some remarkable achievements. Our second medal winner is Media D'Souza. Media is an undergraduate student double majoring in media and communications and law, economics, and public policy. Media has done remarkable work translating her obstacles into inspiration for other students. Not only has she excelled academically, she has been extremely involved in advocating for students and others to overcome their own obstacles, whether they face similar or different challenges. Please join me in recognizing our Chancellor's medalists from the University of Washington, Bothell.
The 2020 Chancellor's Medal for the University of Washington-Tacoma is awarded to Leticia Romo Bueno. Leticia is the first person in her family to attend and graduate from college. Leticia came to the United States at the age of 13. Once here, she endured homelessness and abuse by her then boyfriend. Leticia overcame these hardships and found stability inside the classroom while raising 2 small children. Leticia graduates today with a degree in criminal justice. I know she and her family, including her mother, are streaming in right now, so please join me in saying hello to them and in recognizing Leticia for this award.
An important component of the governance of this institution, and its leadership is called on regularly to represent student views on a wide range of issues at the university. I'm pleased to introduce to you now the President of the Graduate and Professional Student Senate, Juliana Conti, and the President of the Associated Students of the University of Washington, Kelty Pierce.
To the graduate and professional students at Bothell, Tacoma, and Seattle campuses. I'll be honest, I don't know how much pomp and circumstance I can give you considering the state of the world, especially since nothing I say will get you a job, lessen your anxiety, or pay your rent. But given my experience with grad students over the years, there's a few things which I'd like to at least remind you, because ultimately, what you take away from your time here at UW won't have anything to do with what we say today. It's going to come in pieces as you unpack what you've accomplished and as you head into something new. Moving forward, you'll be confronted with choices and maybe even hardships. And so in those moments, I encourage you to think about the following. First, when you came here, you had already poured hours of work into researching programs, applying, exercising self-confidence and optimism in your ability to succeed. You believed that you needed this degree for your life and happiness. That understanding of what you need to get where you want to go has not left. Continue to trust those instincts. Second, in order for you to finish this degree, especially those of you completing upwards of 4, 8, or even 10 years in your program, you must have had an incalculable patience and stubbornness. Hold that in your back pocket, because I have a feeling you're going to need it a lot moving forward. So lastly, for those of you who are motivated by community and justice, this is who you are. Keep being that person. We have become instruments who take what we've learned here at UW and apply it to wherever we see injustice and wherever we can get our hands on. So continue to step in and stand up when those choices confront you. I don't have anything to offer other than what you already possess. Every quality of success that you've needed to envision and achieve getting yourself here today. Now, keep doing these things. Plan boldly. Be self-reliant, but recognize when you need to ask for help. Continue to care about things bigger than yourself and be there for others. And of course, exercise optimism and be stubborn, especially with your intuition. So congratulations, grad students. Today you should celebrate and be incredibly proud of yourself and what you've accomplished. Moving into tomorrow, what's next? You've got everything you need. You tell us.
Hello, Bothell, Tacoma, and Seattle Huskies. My name is Kelty Pierce, and I had the honor of serving as your ASUW president this past school year alongside a phenomenal team. As a second-generation Husky who grew up cheering for the Dogs, tailgating with my family in my full-on cheer uniform, and eating Dippin' Dots in Husky Stadium, I was looking forward to the day that I would get to graduate there. Today, while I watch this on my parents' couch, I can admit this is not how I expected our graduation to go. Yet, here we are, as Huskies, celebrating our time at UW and all that we have accomplished. And regardless of where in the world you are celebrating today, know that the loved ones surrounding you, your peers, friends and roommates, mentors and faculty who supported your journey, and myself, we are right here cheering you on, just as we have the past few years throughout your academic journey. Now, the past few months, we have faced many unprecedented challenges, including a global pandemic that has changed the way we live and learn, to nationwide protests demanding change and justice for Black lives. You have shown your resilience, your care for one another, and your desire for bold action. I am so proud of our students for holding each other, our administration, and our elected officials accountable for speaking out and making a change. In this year's convocation speech to new Huskies, I told them that you will learn these next 4 years don't always go as planned. Embrace it. Embrace the challenges, embrace the changes, embrace the adventures. Little did I know, I would need to be hearing these words myself, as our senior year did not go as planned. As graduates, this quote applies to us more than ever as we enter the real world, unsure of what is to come, what challenges we will face. We need to continue to fight for change, listen and learn from one another, and use our education to better the world. As I have reflected on my own experiences in purple and gold, I can admit that I will miss this place once I leave. I will miss walking through the quad with a couple thousand of my closest friends during spring quarter, my daily coffee runs to Cafe Solstice, lobbying with fellow students, and filming a golf cart karaoke video on campus. But what I will miss the most is the community that I have got to be a part of. I want to remind you all that no matter where you are, you will always be a member of the class of 2020. a University of Washington graduate, and a part of a community of young adults ready to be catalysts for change. And as always, Sko Dogs. Now I would like to introduce this year's featured commencement speaker, a leader who knows firsthand about the challenges and obstacles our class has had to overcome to reach this milestone. President Anamari Kause has served as the University of Washington president since 2015, but her Husky roots go much deeper than that. Since joining the faculty 34 years ago, she has been a pioneer for women in academia throughout her time as a researcher, professor, mentor, and administrator. She and her leadership team took the bold first steps to lead higher education institutions across the nation in response to COVID. Additionally, she has launched the Population Health Initiative, a multi-decade effort to improve the health and well-being of all people and communities. She is the recipient of the Distinguished Teaching Award and has worked to ensure that all people have opportunities in STEM. Please help me welcome President Anamari Kause.
Thank you, Kelty. Hello, class of 2020. In times this extraordinary, it takes an extraordinary class to succeed as you have. And it is my great honor to say to all of you, congratulations on a truly historic achievement. It's no doubt bittersweet that we're physically so far apart on this special day. I promise you that you will have the opportunity to walk across the stage, and the cheers will be deafening. But today, while we can't be together in person, the connections that unite us close that distance. To all of you across the U.S. and more than 40 countries, in this moment, we are together as Huskies. We're connected by the shared experience of enduring this pandemic together. Almost overnight, all of us became experts at learning, teaching, entertaining, and being there for each other through the magic of the internet. We're also connected by anxiety, uncertainty, and yes, grief. That grief that COVID-19 has brought to our nation and to our world. And if you're mourning a loved one lost to the virus, we mourn with you. If you are anxious, know that we are in this together. We're connected by the pride in your accomplishments and our belief that not only despite, but because of the hardships you've overcome, your future is bright. And by the way, as hard as this last quarter has been, it's not the only chapter in your academic career. It took you years to get here. And long before anyone had ever heard of COVID-19, you showed the world what strength and determination look like. I speak for all your faculty, instructors, coaches, and advisors when I say how proud we are to see you cross this threshold, knowing that you will take a piece of the University of Washington with you wherever you go. You are a historic class, graduating at one of the most significant inflection points in our nation. Almost a century ago, as the world was still climbing out of the Great Depression, President Franklin Delano Roosevelt reflected on the ebb and flow of history. As he put it, there's a mysterious cycle in human events. To some generations, much is given. Of other generations, much is expected. This generation has a rendezvous with destiny. I've been reflecting on that ebb and flow as well. These recent weeks have revealed, not for the first time, but with terrible clarity, the pervasive and systemic inequities in our society. From who has to go into work during a pandemic to who has adequate health care or sick leave. Inequality permeates the system for low-income or people of color. The most brutal expression of that inequality manifests itself in the killing, in the murder of black men and women. And I join you in mourning their lives. And I join you in the conviction to make sure that their lives matter, that black lives matter. Today, you collect your hard-earned degrees and take them into a world that's facing challenges unlike any that we've seen in generations. You are one of those generations of whom much is expected. I know it's hard. I know it's not fair, but you've made it anyways. And as a UW graduate in one of the most difficult years in modern history, you've proven that you have what it takes to deal with any challenge that life can throw at you. And the lessons you've learned here will serve you well throughout your lives. I experienced family tragedy in my early 20s. But going through life knowing early on that I could survive and learn and grow from one of the hardest things that life will ever throw to anyone of my privilege, and I know I'm privileged, it only stiffens my resolve to get things done, to be part of creating change through actions and strategies that balance the very real urgency of the moment with the knowledge that we've had enough shows of burning treetops. We've got to dig up roots that go down to the very inception of this country. A country that I love and that took me and my family in as political refugees when I was just a tot. But it's a country that's hurting. It's a country that's flawed. It's a country that needs to change, and that we can help to heal and to make better. And those of you that can, don't forget to vote. Yes, you're graduating in an extremely difficult but also fortuitous time. As a clinical community psychologist, I studied crisis theory, which tells us that the opportunity for greatest change arises precisely during periods of turmoil when all equilibrium is thrown off kilter. And as hard as that moment is, it can also serve a purpose. Let it give you the focus and courage to demand and create a change in our society. Let it strengthen your resolve into something so unshakable, so undeniable, that the world will be forced to reckon with it. You have the power to build a future that honors the values of equity that we strive for at our university and that addresses the systemic issues of our society. Among you are future teachers, entrepreneurs, scientists, engineers, artists, policymakers, healthcare providers, journalists, and leaders in careers that haven't even been invented yet. As you enter into the next phase of your life, perhaps more education, a job, marriage, parenthood, or all of those, you will make mistakes. You will experience setbacks, but through it all, you will have that little extra steel in your spine because of what you've endured this year. And I have full confidence that you will use that strength for immense good. When you hit a speed bump in the years ahead, remember what you did here. You equipped yourself with the knowledge and skills to succeed. You solved problems and recovered from disappointment. You worked hard, and you learned the value of being kind to others and to yourself. You served your community and helped your families. You learned how to ask questions and seek out answers when it was hard, when it was frustrating, when it was painful. You persevered. Today, we celebrate the culmination of everything that you and those that supported you invested in yourself. Because, of course, you had some help. moms and dads, grandparents, aunts, uncles, siblings, friends, spouses or children, and all of you who offered support along the way. You helped make this day possible. And we're counting on you to give your graduate the hugs and high fives that we would like to be giving them today. You've been there for your students in so many ways long before they became Huskies. In the last few months, you've been there for them in ways that you never expected. Thank you for making it possible for our students to keep up with their coursework. Thank you for helping many of them make the difficult transition from life on campus to life at home. Many families have faced financial hardship or had to juggle childcare while working from home. Others have kept us healthy, safe, and fed through their role as essential workers. Almost no one has endured the last few months without challenges. But whatever you were dealing with, you did what it took to make sure your graduate crossed the finish line. Thank you. Graduates, we're grateful for all that you have brought to our University of Washington. Your resilience in these final moments of your academic career will be an inspiring legacy at your university. And your achievements and aspirations fill me with hope in a moment when hope is one of those things that we need the most. Whatever your journey holds, please always lead with your values. The world is ripe for reshaping. Mold it into a new and better world defined by compassion, service to others, and equity for all. The University of Washington is proud to claim you as alumni. We celebrate your achievements today, and we look forward to the indelible mark that you will make on the world tomorrow and for the rest of your lives. Congratulations, class of 2020.
Ladies and gentlemen, we are now ready to present the degrees to all candidates. Candidates will be presented by the deans of the Seattle campus and the chancellors of the Bothell and Tacoma campuses and witnessed by the various faculties. Degrees will be conferred by the chair of the Board of Regents, Joel Benalil. Candidates for doctoral degrees will be presented by the several deans. For the School of Medicine, Associate Dean Sarah Kim.
It is an honor to recommend the 262 candidates for the degree of Doctor of Medicine. Faculty of the School of Medicine, do you concur?
We do.
Congratulations, graduates. We wish you the best.
Dean Gary Kyoto, School of Dentistry.
It is my pleasure to present the candidates for Doctor of Dental Surgery. Faculty of the School of Dentistry, do you concur?
We enthusiastically concur.
Congratulations, graduates. We wish you the very best, and we are so proud of you.
Tony Remby Dean Mario L. Barnes, School of Law.
On behalf of the Faculty of Law, I have the honor of presenting the 158 candidates for the degree of Juris Doctor. Faculty of the School of Law, do you concur?
We concur. Congratulations.
Congratulations, graduates. You have exhibited flexibility, grace, courage, and determination under the most challenging of circumstances this quarter. You are going to make excellent members of the legal profession, and we could not be prouder of you.
Dean Sean Sullivan, School of Pharmacy.
President Kause, it is my honor to present the 103 candidates for the degree of Doctor of Pharmacy. Faculty of the School of Pharmacy, do you concur?
We concur.
Congratulations, graduates. The faculty and I are confident that you will keep your communities healthy.
Dean Joy Williamson Lott of the Graduate School.
Joining us today are candidates who've completed all requirements for the degrees of Doctor of Philosophy, Musical Arts, Education, Physical Therapy, Audiology, and Nursing Practice. On behalf of the deans of the schools and colleges and the graduate faculty, I am pleased and honored to recommend these candidates for the highest degrees awarded by the university. Graduate faculty, do you concur?
Yes, we do.
Will all the doctoral degree candidates from all schools and colleges please rise?
Degree candidates from the schools and colleges just presented.
Pleased to confer upon these candidates their respective doctoral degrees. Congratulations. You have achieved high academic distinction, and this university salutes you. The names, degrees, and photos of this year's outstanding doctoral candidates can be found in the box marked Grad Moments on your screen.
Candidates for master's degrees will be presented by Interim Dean Allison Cullen of the Evans School of Public Policy and Governance and Dean Williamson Lott of the Graduate School.
Candidates for master's degrees in the Evans School of Public Policy and Governance will please rise. I am honored to present these candidates to receive their respective master's degrees. Evans School faculty, do you concur?
Yes, we do.
Congratulations, graduates. We are so proud of you. Now please remain standing.
Candidates for the various master's degrees for all schools and colleges from the University of Washington, Seattle, Bothell, and Tacoma, please rise. On behalf of the deans of the schools and colleges and the graduate faculty, I am honored to present all of these candidates to receive their respective master's degrees.
It is my distinct honor to present to you, Regent Benalil, all of the master's degree candidates from the schools and colleges of the university's 3 campuses.
On behalf of the Board of Regents and the graduate faculty, I am pleased to confer upon each of you your master's degree. Congratulations. The names, degrees, and photos of this year's outstanding master's degree candidates can be found in the box marked Grad Moments on your screen.
Candidates for bachelor's degrees in the various colleges and schools of all 3 campuses will be presented by the several deans and chancellors. The candidates who have been accepted by the general faculty of the university for their respective degrees are listed in the commencement program. For the College of Arts and Sciences, Dean Robert Stacy.
Candidates from the College of Arts and Sciences will please rise. It is my honor to present these candidates for the degrees of Bachelor of Arts, Bachelor of Fine Arts, Bachelor of Design, Bachelor of Music, and Bachelor of Science, and to recommend that they be awarded their respective degrees. Faculty of the College of Arts and Sciences, do you concur?
Yes, indeed.
Congratulations, graduates. We are proud of all of you.
Dean Mia Twan, College of Education.
Will candidates from the College of Education please rise? I am proud to present these candidates for Bachelor of Arts degrees in Early Childhood and Family Studies and Education, Communities, and Organizations, and to recommend that they be awarded their degrees. Faculty of the College of Education, do you concur?
We concur.
Congratulations, graduates. We are so very proud of you.
Dean Nancy Albritton, College of Engineering.
Candidates from the College of Engineering will please rise. I am pleased to present these candidates of the College of Engineering for the degrees of Bachelor of Science, Bachelor of Science in Engineering, Bachelor of Science in Aeronautical and Astronautical Engineering, Bioengineering, Chemical Engineering, Civil and Environmental Engineering, Computer Engineering, Computer Science, Electrical Engineering, Human-Centered Design and Engineering, Industrial and Systems Engineering, Materials Science and Engineering, and Mechanical Engineering, and to recommend that they be awarded their respective degrees. Faculty of the College of Engineering, do you concur?
Engineering concurs.
Congratulations, graduates. Go forth and prosper.
Dean Lisa Gromlich, College of the Environment.
The candidates from the College of the Environment will please rise. It is my pleasure and honor to present these candidates of the College of the Environment for the degrees of Bachelors of Arts, Bachelor of Science, Bachelor of Science in Forest Resources, and Bachelor of Science in Aquatic and Fishery Sciences, and to recommend that they be awarded their respective degrees. Faculty of the College of the Environment, do you concur?
We do.
Congratulations, graduates. We wish you all the very best.
Dean Anin Day of the Information School.
Candidates from the Information School, please rise. It gives me great pleasure to present the candidates of the Information School for the degree of Bachelor of Science in Informatics and to recommend that they be awarded their bachelor's degrees. Faculty of the Information School, do you concur?
Enthusiastically, yes.
Congratulations, graduates. We wish you the best.
Dean Frank Hodge, Michael G. Foster School of Business.
The candidates from the Michael G. Foster School of Business will please rise. It is with great pleasure that I present these candidates for bachelor's degrees in the Foster School of Business and recommend that they be awarded their respective bachelor's degrees. Faculty of the Foster School, do you concur?
With pride.
Congratulations, graduates. We're proud of you. Well done.
Dean Azita Amami, School of Nursing.
Degree candidates from the #1 School of Nursing in the nation, would you please rise? It's my pleasure and honor to present these candidates for the degree of Bachelor of Science in Nursing and recommend that they be awarded their bachelor's degrees. Faculty of School of Nursing, would you concur?
Congratulations, Husky nurses.
Congratulations, graduates. I'm so proud of you. Go and save lives and help people get healthier.
Associate Dean Sarah Kim, School of Medicine.
Will the bachelor candidates from the School of Medicine please rise? It is a privilege to present these bachelor candidates from the School of Medicine in the specialized fields of medical technology and physician's assistant, and to recommend they be awarded their respective bachelor's degrees. Faculty of the School of Medicine, do you concur?
We do.
Congratulations, graduates. We're so proud of you.
Dean Renee Chang, College of Built Environments.
Will the candidates from the College of Built Environments please rise? It is my honor to present these candidates for their bachelor's degree in architecture, landscape architecture, construction management, and the community environmental planning, and to recommend that they be awarded their respective bachelor's degrees. Faculty of the College of Built Environments, do you concur?
We concur.
Congratulations, graduates. You are well prepared to make the built world a better place for everyone.
Dean Eddie Uehara, School of Social Work.
Distinguished candidates from the School of Social Work, please rise. On behalf of the social work faculty, it is my great privilege to present these candidates for their bachelor's degrees in social welfare and to recommend that they be awarded their respective bachelor's degrees. Faculty of the School of Social Work, do you concur?
Joyfully, yes.
Congratulations, graduates. We are so proud of you.
Dean Hilary Godwin, School of Public Health.
The candidates from the School of Public Health will please rise. It is with much pleasure that I present these candidates for bachelor's degrees in the School of Public Health and recommend that they be awarded their respective degrees. Faculty of the School of Public Health, do you concur?
Yes. Public health.
Congratulations, graduates. We wish you all the best.
Presenting bachelor's degree candidates from the University of Washington, Bothell, Chancellor Wolf Ye.
Will all the bachelor's degree candidates from the University of Washington, Bothell please rise? I am honored to present these candidates for their respective bachelor's degrees and recommend that all who have fulfilled the requirements prescribed by the faculty of the University of Washington, Bothell be awarded their degrees. Faculty of University of Washington, Bothell, do you concur?
We're so proud of you.
Congratulations, graduates. You are now proud graduates of University of Washington, Bothell.
Presenting bachelor's degree candidates from the University of Washington, Tacoma, Chancellor Mark A. Pagano.
Will all of the bachelor's degree candidates from the University of Washington, Tacoma, no matter where you are in the world, please rise? I am honored to present these candidates for their respective bachelor's degrees and recommend that all who have fulfilled the requirements prescribed by the faculty of the UW-Tacoma be awarded their degrees. Deans representing the faculty of the University of Washington-Tacoma, do you concur?
UW-Tacoma concurs.
Congratulations, UW-Tacoma class of 2020 graduates.
Will all bachelor's degree candidates from all three campuses please rise?
Graduates, you have already begun to work your magic. You've made the sun come out. And it is my distinct honor to present you, Regent Benalil, all of the bachelor's degree candidates from the various schools and colleges of all 3 University of Washington campuses.
On behalf of the Board of Regents and the faculty of the university, I am pleased to confer upon each of you your respective bachelor degrees. Congratulations. The names, degrees, and photos of this year's outstanding bachelor degree candidates can be found in the box marked Grad Moments on your screen. And now, graduates, turn your tassels from the right to the left. Congratulations.
Congratulations to all of our graduates. All of today's participants will receive a copy of the Block W photograph that you just saw on your screen. In addition, a memento of this day will be mailed to you soon. The School of Music Choir will now lead us in the singing of Rise Up with Pride for Washington. The words to the song are printed on the inside of the back cover of the commencement program. Please rise.
Rise up with pride for Washington, for purple and for gold. From far and wide we meet as one, as huskies proud and bold. Oh, Washington, we hail to thee, honor, truth, integrity, forever shine from lake to shore. Your light upon us evermore. Rise up with pride for Washington. Together hand in hand, we will proclaim our loyalty in song throughout the land. Oh, Washington, we hail to thee, honor, truth, integrity, forever shine from lake to shore. Your light upon us evermore.
Congratulations once again to all of our graduates. We so enjoyed being able to come together today to celebrate your accomplishments. We send you all of our best wishes for your health and safety and that of your family and friends. Before we end, we want you to know that you can view all the Grad Moment slides for your school or college at the conclusion of the ceremony. And stay tuned until the end of the recessional for a surprise appearance by everybody's favorite husky. The 145th commencement exercises of the University of Washington are now closed.